Billy, you've largely played really good defense over like the last 7 games as a team, but tonight it seemed like you just had some recognition problems. I mean, Duncan Robinson was getting free a lot. You had trouble matching up in transition. What did you see as some of the?
Yeah, I think that that was a spot on. I think defensively, I think in the first half they had more transition points in the first half of this game than they did the entire game. And we needed to do a better job than that. And then I think, obviously they were trying to post up quite a bit, and I think our rotations are help to what you were talking about. We've just got to be better there in terms of the communication piece of it and where help's coming from.
Billy, are you still open to trying different things with this starting lineup, considering you tried Patrick, Torrey, Alex, and it just still seems to be sputtering out of the gate? I mean, is that something that you guys have to kick around, or are you going to ride this one out?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably at least I would say we'd probably stick with this going to next game. I think sometimes it's been different stuff. Like I thought the turnovers prevented us from getting off to a good start. We had 6, I think, in the first quarter. That kind of hurt us, I thought, because we actually shot the ball fairly well in the first half. The turnovers hurt us. And then I thought the difference in the game, and give them credit, they shot the ball incredibly well. Obviously a lot better than they did the night before. Different guys stepped up and made shots. But I thought some of the turnovers really hurt us in that first quarter. But I just think that we've got to, and I think I mentioned it before the game, the force that we've got to be able to play with in terms of just generating some pressure. And again, there's times we do it, we just got to do it, more consistently. But I think with where we're at right now with this group, I think, a few more games to certainly evaluate and look at it.
Billy, you talked about wanting Zach to be more aggressive offensively. He took 10 shots Saturday. He took 9 today. Is it something that the Heat were doing? Why is he not being aggressive and looking for his shot?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Zach played really, really unselfishly. He, I thought, generated a lot of good looks for other guys. I thought in the start of the third, he was a little bit more taking, some of those walk-ups. He took one I think in the first half in front of our bench, he took one. But when he's aggressive, that's always good for us, But again, sometimes I have to go back and look at the tape because, there's sometimes, and I give him credit, that when he does drive the ball and help comes, he's a willing passer, So I think we have to look at, like, what are the shots that maybe he bypassed or gave up that we need him to take, And then what are the ones where he did drive it and there was a crowd. And he really did do a good job of like he found Vooch in the baseline a couple times. He found some guys for some threes. So there's certainly a balance there of, when he's open, taking his shots, but also when he does put the ball on the floor and goes to the rim and there's a bunch of help there and he can't get to the rim, just trying to find the way to make the right play. And I thought for the most part he did that tonight.
Billy, you all are now 5-10 through 15 games. This is not the start that you all expected after bringing back the same team for the third season. You talk to Arturas a lot. You all are in constant communication. What is the communication with him like? What is the message for fixing this and getting out of this you're in now?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything is really totally, geared toward in our conversation how we can help this group, try to play better. Certainly, we've talked about the starts that we've gotten off to early in games. Looked at some different starting lineups. Played some different rotations. Tried to do some different things to try to get back to a level of consistency. And that's really, I think, what it is, because I think we show some signs of like really great possessions on offense and good possessions on defense. But it's the consistency part that I think we got to keep working at.
I know you kind of talked about Zach being a little bit unselfish, and that was something that you spoke about wanting him to do coming into this season. But with the offense just kind of where it's at right now, at what point do you have to look at him and say, okay, just lean into it, be a little bit more selfish, maybe try to have a couple more of those possessions where he's leaning into that, just given the shots he's taking?
I would say, and I've had this conversation with Zach, there's really never, ever a bad shot when he shoots the basketball. So he has, the freedom that when he has got it, we want him to take it. This is not a situation where I'm telling him, hey, Zach, listen, you got to pass the basketball, and I want you to do more of this. We need him to just, I think, be aggressive. And then once he's aggressive, make the right play. I think there's a balance for him. I think Zach, really competitively wants to win, wants to be out there, wants to help the group. But I also think, too, a lot in his career, and he's probably better to speak to it, sometimes he had to do that. He had to shoot all those shots. And I think the one thing about it is he is playing unselfishly. He is trying to move the ball. He's trying to find the open guy. And he's making good basketball plays. There's a lot of different ways to impact the game. But I think I want him to always know that he needs to be aggressive. That doesn't necessarily mean he needs to shoot the ball all the time, but he's got to be aggressive. Now, I do think there's opportunities for him to shoot the ball that he's passed up. I think he needs to take those, but we need him to be aggressive in terms of attacking. And is that shooting? Is that getting off pick and roll and getting to mid-range and pulling up? Is it getting to the rim? Is it spraying it out? Just be aggressive, play downhill, and be aggressive. So that's there. But I also think, too, when he gets in there and he sees a crowd, I think he is trying to make the right basketball play.
Zach isn't somebody that lacks for confidence. He's a very confident guy in his ability to put the ball in the basket. Is this the first season you've really had to kind of ask him to be more aggressive?
No, I mean, there's been always times where I think, throughout my time with Zach, where there's just times where, I think he's trying to read the game. How's he being guarded? Because sometimes, listen, Miami trapped him sometimes. And you can get into saying, hey, Zach, you got to shoot the ball more. And, he's trying to split a double team or he's trying to shoot out of a double team. That's just not good for our team. So sometimes when he gets trapped, he's got to get off the ball. That's just what ends up happening. I mean, Butler, a lot of times we trapped him, on the post-ups, and, he got off of it. He found guys and they made some shots. But I do give Zach a lot of credit that when guys are open, he's trying to make the right play. But the biggest thing to me is just him being aggressive.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, yep, thank you.